back in this thing. Top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning. Back with a brand new video. Today I'm talking about how a high value man leads his relationship, right? Because on this channel we talk about being leaders often, but we gotta know how to lead, especially when it comes to our women, right? We gotta be the type of man that they need. Now, the right woman, not all these women, but the right one. Before I get into it though, make sure y'all check out my other page, Wolf and Pooch. I'm gonna put the little link in the description, and then give me some feedback at the end, and like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you feel like I'm doing you, a favor and I'm helping you out. All right, so when it comes to leading a woman, man, for one, you got to lead yourself first, right? It always starts with us as men. And it's funny because that's really what I've been focusing on right now. Just like knowing how to lead myself, because you can't lead a woman or anybody else, not just a woman, but you can't lead anybody unless you know how to lead yourself. Well, how do you lead yourself? Well, you got to take charge of your health, take charge of your finances, take charge of your ambition, right? Take charge of your emotions and your decision making. You got to get all those things in order before you can try to lead somebody else, before you can try to lead a relationship. You got to make sure you right first. You see, self-mastery is the foundation of leadership, right? How you going to be an example for other people if you can't even be an example for yourself? So learn how to lead yourself first. That's one place to start, right? Next, you got to create direction and vision, right? Know where you're going in life. That's why I always talk about having a purpose as a man, because you got to know where you're going in order to lead other people, right? If you lost, you're going to get everybody else lost. So you got to create a vision. Talk about your goals with your woman. Talk about your values with your woman. See, a woman has to feel like she's aligned with you as a man, right? She wants to be a part of the journey, not the whole journey. Because a lot of niggas mess up because they make the female just everything. Nah. See, women, they don't want to be everything, bro. They want to be a part of it. They want to help you along the way, right? They want to be a helpmate, all right? Next, you want to communicate with strength and empathy, right? Be direct with how you feel. Say what you mean, but say it respectfully. You ain't got to cuss her out. You ain't got to call out her name. You really ain't got to do all that. All that is feminine shit. All that is emotional bullshit. You can literally express how you feel, express, your values in a respectful ass way, right? And don't avoid difficult conversations. And I've been guilty of that, right? In the past, it's funny because they talk about these, what you call them? The love languages, right? I'm pretty sure I'm going to avoid it, right? I'm pretty sure I'm going to avoid it. Because, like, I would do that a lot when I would deal with women. I just be like, I ain't trying to hear that BS, man. I ain't trying to deal with that. But if you're in a relationship, you can't avoid the difficult conversations, right? You can't brush shit to the side because it's just going to creep back up. So it's better to face that shit head on, get it out the way, right? And it also, it will make her feel like you're putting in effort, that you're actually trying instead of just trying to avoid, right? And women feel safe with a man who's calm under pressure. So that means when you're having these difficult conversations, don't react. You just respond. Don't start yelling, screaming, this, that, and the third. No, you stay in your masculine frame as a man and you have a conversation. You sort it out. Remember, in a relationship, it's not you versus them. It's you guys together versus the problem. So that's how you got to kind of look at it, right? Change your perspective. It's not girl versus boy. Society makes it like that, but it's not. It's us versus the problem, right? Another way to help you lead is set standards, not rules. Standards. Because you can't tell a woman what to do. You can try, but a woman gonna do what the hell a woman gonna do. So instead, you set standards. You let her know what you will and what you won't tolerate. Let her know what you stand for, right? And that you expect her to match that same energy. So, for example, if you stand for respect, if you stand for trust, you let me know, right? And tell her, hey, I expect the same thing from you, right? If you want to be a part of this relationship, you have to match that type of energy. You have to set the tone for how you want the things to go. But it starts with you. Going back to, it starts with us as men. We have to set that tone. All right. You got to lead by example, not by force. Again, you can't force a woman to do anything, right? The more you try to force something, the more it's going to go left on your ass. So you can't, you know. Number 5, the next one. You got to romance with attention. Yeah, you got to romance with attention. So this is another thing that me personally, I have to work on, right? Because you got to plan dates, you know. You can't just go with the flow. It's easy to be like, yeah, I'm just going with the flow. That's that's my favorite line. I ain't gonna lie. I will always say that. Yeah, I'm just going with the flow. Da da da. But here's the problem with going with the flow. You become too comfortable, right? Now you're not going on dates. You're not, you know, keeping that spark alive. Now you're just getting comfortable, right? See, when you go with the flow, it gets boring. And we know women don't like to be bored. That's when they step out and find somebody else that can entertain them, right? That can bring that thrill into their life. But us, right? You have to create moments. You have to create these special moments. That's what I've been realizing. Like, you got to be intentional, you know? Hey, babe, Saturday night, get dressed up. We heading out, right? We going to a nice steakhouse. I already booked the reservations. I already planned it out. Matter of fact, I want you to wear that nice red dress because it's gonna go good with what I got on. That's what I mean by romance with attention. And you do that, shit, she'll be like, what? Okay, say that. I'm telling you, because you leading. She ain't got to do no work. And like I said, that's something that me personally, I had to deal with. Because I'd be the type, shit, the girls who I would deal with, they'll be the ones planning it, right? Because I wouldn't care enough. Simple as that. I wouldn't care enough. So that's one thing we got to work on as men, like especially if you in a relationship, if she your girlfriend. I'm talking about strictly if y'all in a relationship, she's yours, right? I ain't talking about you just talking or dating somebody, blah, blah. I'm talking about relationship shit. As a man, you got to plan that shit. You got to plan it out, right? And then, last but not least, protect and provide, man. And when I talk about provide, I'm not talking about just with your finances. It's more than just, you know, paying for a dinner or like paying the bills. Like, that's nice. That provides security, you know. Girls appreciate that. But that's just one part of it, right? When I mean provide, I'm talking about provider with peace, right? Provider with some type of game, teach her some shit. That's the one thing a lot of niggas don't do. They is not trying to teach their girls nothing. Partly because they not teaching themselves. But if you're able to stimulate a woman intellectually, that's one of the ways to keep her around and and have her really like feel like you that guy is by teaching her some shit. Anybody could give her money. Anybody could give her the D, but what is she learning from you? That's what's gonna really connect you guys. So provide her with some game as well. And then provide solutions, not problems. Provide solutions. See, we got to change our way of moving. We got to change our perspective. We got to have a solution-based mindset, especially like I said earlier, when y'all having discussions, when y'all going through difficult times, you provide solutions, not more problems. Hey, babe, so here's the situation. How we gonna get through this? All right, wooty whoop, wooty whoop. Okay, cool. We gonna work on that shit. Not, oh, I told you, you always doing it. I always gotta hear your mouth. I'm always, and I've been guilty of that too. And this is why I know this, guys, because I'm speaking from experience here as well. I'm not perfect. I don't do all these correctly, but I know where I need to get better at. And the first step is identifying where you need to get better at and then working on that shit. So, yeah, providing solutions, that's the key to life in general, but especially in relationships. See, it's easy to find the problems. A lot of us point out the problems. That's a problem. This is a problem. I don't like that. Oh, you need to fix that. Da da da. But what's the solutions? See, even when we dealing with other people, we always point out the problem, but we don't tell them how to fix it. We don't provide solutions. If you just gonna be negative and point out the problem, keep your mouth closed. If you ain't got no solution, right? I'm gonna end it with this. Leading a relationship means guiding with direction, strength, and your presence, while honoring her freedom and femininity. It all boils down to that right there. All right. So, again, honestly, it's easy to lead a relationship if you work on yourself and if you're able to lead yourself, pretty much. I think everything else kind of will fall into place once you get yourself right. Because you can't pour into her if your ass is on E. All right. So I made it right there. If you made it this far, I want you to put lead. Yes, lead. Because that's what we doing. We leading out here. All right. Like, comment, subscribe. Give your boy some feedback. Let me know what's up. Till the next time. Isley.